one spark, one insight, one idea to create the exponential growth you desire. Welcome to the Growth Mode Podcast, where we share the strategies for your growth. Hey, welcome back to the Growth Mode Podcast, as always, with, I don't even know what to call him now, like the doctor of AI, all things, Jason Pantana and Mr. Marketing. By the way, looking very summery today, Jimmy. I'm not even sure what's going on, like in a shirt that isn't black. Are you feeling okay?
Thank you for noticing, Tom. I appreciate it. I'm actually going through a little bit of an existential crisis right now because the guy who's been cutting my hair for 10 years, right, which that's part of my brand now,
Yes.
has taken a sabbatical, and now he is off for several months. So I'm now in the process of trying to find a replacement, which is it's not going well. So, but when I go to Summit, you guys might see it might be that flow, Jason, that you showed in
Do
that
I
video before.
do I sense a documentary in the works?
That's it. That's it. So yes, thank you, Tom, for noticing.
I love it. And so Jason, happy Monday as the show gets started here. What's the good news in Nashville?
Well, it's very summery here as well. Nashville's good. We're cranking along. Family's good, doing work. AI Marketing Academy is just helping a lot of agents power on.
Yes.
And man, there's been a lot of big stuff that's come out this week. We have a lot to talk about today.
I know we do. So for my listener, we're taking a different approach, in show number 2 of Growth Mode as we navigate figuring this thing out to make it the best possible show for you. So I asked the guys, we want to talk about 4 things today. One is GEO versus SEO. And the specific question I'm going to ask Jason is really about when every agent finally figures out how to reimagine their bio for effective GEO, and everybody starts to blog effectively for effective GEO, what will be the next move? So I want to talk about that. Then Jimmy has this 3-step formula for doubling the number of referrals you're generating. And I thought, in the spirit of growth mode, we're going to go from super AI to easily applicable tomorrow to generate more referrals. Then we're going to bounce back over to AI and talk about how do we stop paying for stuff that AI can do for us? How do we get the mindset right with I don't want to pay money for that. I want AI to do it for me. So Jason will unpack that. And then we're going to finish with, regardless of where you are in the world, the one thing we know to be true always is we need more listings. And the truth is, some people just struggle with having effective conversations and really having what I would call elegant openers to really get the conversation started. So that's really what we're going to focus on today. So buckle up, my friend. Let's start with GEO versus SEO. So, Grok 4 launched last week. There's been a lot of changes in the world of AI. This morning, I got a text from a client, Jason, which you'll appreciate. Cannot disclose this, all the details yet, but let's just call it the biggest sale in the history of her county just occurred because she did the GEO work that we're going to talk about today and sort of what's next. And she's like, basically, OMG, WTF, oh my God, where's Tom Ferry? I got to share this. She is out of her mind pumped. And she literally said to me, it was one spark, one insight at a mastermind after the January Elite that she finally said, I'm starting. So we're only talking about 6-7 months ago. So Jason, let's start here. If every agent figures out GEO, generative engine search, versus SEO, specifically all the sites that they need to be on, all the blogging they need to be doing, how they need to reimagine all of their bios to make sure that as people switch from, going on Google, which just feels so archaic, to now going to all the different, LLMs and asking the question, who's the best real estate agent in this area to sell my house? As they make that switch, what do you think the next move is?
Yeah, I love that question. So a couple of thoughts. First, the devil's advocate thought, which is we talk a lot. We've done a lot of webinars together. We train on this inside of AI Marketing Academy within the ecosystem. We talk about this a lot. We talk about blogging is an unlock opportunity right now because
Yes.
AI is such a good writer. You have the ability to help it sound like you. We actually just did a training inside the academy on how to make blogs just go turnkey for you. And part of the beauty of generative AI is it won't write the same blog twice. It just won't. You can't predict what the output is.
Yep.
And so I think it's easy to get stuck thinking, hey, we're going to run out of track on this eventually, and the train's going to fly off the edge of the cliff. I don't think it will. It'll just keep making content slightly different, more varied. And we're gonna keep following the same paths of building topic authority. So when you look at how search engine optimization has always been basically functioned, it's all been about topic authority. How do you create topic authority? Well, you have the ability to create content on a specific topic that people want to read and want to look at, and they refer to more often. They link to it more often. That creates more authority for it. And so the more you do something, the more authority you get. And so while I do think a lot of people are going to do a little bit of this and a little bit of that, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, where I see the really big opportunity is not just dabbling. Like it's not just blogs. You got to go across your entire online presence. It's video, it's email, it's your blogs, it's your Pinterest profile, it's everything. How do you completely optimize your entire online presence to be a united front of what your authority is to get discovered by more buyers and sellers in your marketplace, so that as other agents try to do a little bit of stuff, they really can't keep up? Does that make sense, Tom?
It does. And one of the topics that I want to discuss this year at the summit is how do we continue to dig the moat around our brand and around our business to become the true market of one? We've all heard that phrase before, but like I've certainly experienced it, but I've experienced it because I started on YouTube in like 2007. And then I was on like every major platform. And we know, and you should talk about structured lists because
Yeah, yeah.
structured lists are such a big part of this. I'm sure you guys saw Zenlist sold today to realtor.com, or at least it was announced. And I would be shocked for my friend that's listening. When was the last time you went to Fast Expert, Zenlist, and any other listicle, if you will, about real estate and real estate agents to make sure that your profile's right? Jason,
Yeah.
unpack that.
Yeah, let me share my screen really fast. I'll show this to the group here if they're
Yep.
watching or listening. So I just did a quick little search in the background, best realtor in Baton Rouge. And what you typically see is this is Google. And so I know Tom's like, what about Perplexity? What about
Yeah.
ChatGPT? What
Yep.
about Grok? I'm getting there. This is Google, and it shows me the local services ads. That's not new. It shows me all the search ads, not new. But down here, it shows me my map pack, which is what we've been talking about for like 5 years, where your Google business profile is. However, what we're realizing, because more and more people are turning to ChatGPT, Perplexity, Grok, they're changing away from Google. It's conditioning them to ask more questions. Before we started calling it Generative Engine Optimization, or GEO, we were calling it Answer Engine Optimization, because the way
Right.
most people are using AI is to ask questions and get instant answers. Now, are the answers always accurate? No, that's the irony of it. But there's an ability for you to start supplying content that is effectively sitting there waiting to be found by AI search. Now, watch what happens on Google. Best realtor in Baton Rouge. And then I did another search for who's the best realtor in Baton Rouge. And whenever you add the word who, it could be Baton Rouge, Charlotte, Raleigh, Los Angeles, whatever you want it to be. By putting it in the form of a question, it automatically triggers Google's AI overview, which is powered by Gemini. And what I want you to realize is it is highlighting agents within here, and none of it is coming from Google business profiles. It's all being cited over here. And you're seeing local websites. You're seeing a lot of Yelp. Tom, you mentioned structured data.
Yep.
Structured data means a list. If there are websites that have it, like US News, Yelp's top 10, Fast Expert, they do number one, number two, three, four, Zillow. They rank in order. Any web page that creates a list is something AI just goes, ooh, gimme, 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 because it seems so easy for it to grab at that data. It's
Yep.
just right there for it. So what was brilliant here, I got to show everybody this. One of our rockstar coaching clients, Trey Willard in Baton Rouge, he's highlighted here. He created his own list. I'm going to find it here somewhere.
Bingo.
He created his own list of the top. Here it is right there. Top real estate agents in Baton Rouge 2025 year-to-date rankings. And so here we are at the midway point through the year, and he literally made his own list of his own agents at his brokerage, and he published production data. And so what's happening is AI sees that,
So
thinks,
smart.
ooh, give it to me. And then not only does it grab at this page, but because of that, it starts taking his other web pages. He's the number one cited source in the list of citations in the AI overview. And this isn't just for Google. This
Yeah.
is, again, Google powered by Gemini, but it's also ChatGPT, it's Perplexity, it's
Yeah.
Grok, it's any of them. You're going to see that what they do is they grab at internet information that they can see. And now we talked about this, I believe, on the last show. What they can't see is your reviews. They don't see that
Yes.
data. It's dynamic
Yep.
content and it's gating.
Yep.
But they can see your bios. They can see all that, your transaction histories. And so you got to go. I'm going to give you a two-step process. One, you need to, we talked about it last week, you got to feed your bios to give it information that signals authority or achievement. And then number two is you've really got to look at your transaction histories and any structured data website. So what are the structured data websites? If there's,
Okay, hold on. Transaction history,
it's
for
usually,
example,
I'm going to
like
put
on,
those together. Yeah. Thank you for
okay,
clarifying.
yeah, but like that is, 1,100 transactions in Baton Rouge, right?
Yeah.
Something along those lines. The lifetime of your, and what's funny is I see a lot of people put down like, and over like $1 billion in sales. I'm like, I don't think anybody's searching for who's done the most volume in my area, and no one probably types in, but people are definitely saying who's done the most transactions in this area. And I would almost take it one step further.
Yeah.
Who has sold the most listings, who's represented the most buyers? So if you bifurcate your transaction count into buy side, sell side, lease side, investment side, I think that also could be very interesting in all your bios. But
I think
you're the expert. What do you think?
Well, I think that, and I think it's not just lifetime sales, it's year to date. So recency plays a big factor too. If you could shoot, you're active right now and you're selling homes this year, that's another authority signal AI is going to grab at. So just to keep it super simple, you just got to look at your business and say, hey, what are my accolades that I could brag about? Let me inject those into my bio across the web. Let me inject them into my blogs and my content. We did a prompt of the week for the Academy where even if you have Instagram just announced that unless you say otherwise, everything you post on Instagram is now completely searchable, completely searchable. And so what we have to realize is this is everything getting connected. AI is now getting connected to literally everything. So it's not just your blogs, it's not just your bios, it's Instagram, it's all of it. And so I think what you have to start coaching people toward when it comes to how do you prepare for GEO, Generative Engine Optimization, it's really going to be not just a little onesie twosie, you need a full plan. So something we're starting to work on in the Academy, and this is new and emerging, when you start dealing with, I'm not just changing my bio on 2 or 3 websites. I want to have an integrated comprehensive digital makeover across everything from Pinterest, Instagram, to my blog, to my Zillow profile, to my homes.com profile, to Fast Expert. What you're going to want to do is create a blueprint. So you're going to open up a large language model chat with a ChatGPT, Grok, Gemini, Claude, pick your favorite. And you're going to, in that first chat, start telling it what you're seeking to do.
Yeah.
Then you're going to give it an outcome of what you're going to create for me as a blueprint that's going to put this in batches. So we're going to have, I'm going to start another conversation with chat because maybe you've had this happen where if you get into a really long chat, you'll hit a messaging limit. Hey, sorry, no more room for conversation here. And that especially happens in platforms like Claude. And so what you want to do is have a chat that specifically helps you build out this document that's going to be helping you create inventory of all the different sites and platforms that matter the most. And then phase 2 is you take that document, you feed it into a new chat and you say, help me look me up here, give me the prognosis, diagnosis, and treatment plan for how do I fix this page, this page, this page. And you do it over the course of a month or 90 days, you start making those integrated changes across everything. I think that's the future. It's not just one and done or getting lucky. It's doing all of it.
So we talked a lot about GEO and SEO, and I think that last insight, Jason, was the insight to have that conversation, create one PDF or one checklist of every place where I'm going to be on. It's like funny today. I was like talking to one of my clients. Shout out to Maxine and Marty Gallons and JC, who's now, helping them with all this stuff. And I was like, oh, by the way, what about Berkshire Hathaway's main site? What about anything you're published on in San Diego? Any other site you're on? We need to find it and we need to fix the bio. Like that was basically the goal. Like we're going to put 1,000 Easter eggs out there. So as people are doing their GEO, it doesn't matter where they catch us, they're going to catch us. You know what this reminds me of, Jimmy? This reminds me of another friend of mine, Jimmy, God bless him, who passed, Jimmy Marks, who said to me in like 2006, 2007, you need to basically be on every possible bio. You need to be findable. And literally we had this like sort of evolution, revolution, whatever you would call it, where every agent was trying to figure out how to redo their bios in this modern way and on every major platform that was available. So what's old is new.
Yeah.
What's old is what's new.
Jason, I have a quick follow-on question because I think it'd be helpful for everyone who's listening to the pod. But what you said there, Tom, is like, it's the old David Ogilvy quote. You can't save souls in an empty church. And this idea that like, if you're trying to get yourself in front of more people, that's sort of mission number one. Jason, just so we understand the sort of scale and scope here, uh, we're making this because I've heard you say this now a couple times, and if I were to recap what you said, we're making the transition from search being the most important thing to optimize
Mhm.
for organic traffic to now basically using these large language models. How many people are now, because we all use, the three of us use AI every day for everything.
Yeah.
Like, how many people are using AI compared to the people who are searching? Like, is this a category that's still small, growing rapidly? Has it reached mainstream? Like, give us some scale and scope on
Yeah,
this.
so my numbers are I can look them up and get more up to date. So if you're listening or watching, these numbers are probably 30 to 45 days old. I'm going to give you.
Okay.
Certainly, Google is still the behemoth. It just is. Google has about 23 times the traffic across mobile and desktop as you find on ChatGPT. ChatGPT, mobile and desktop, is giant compared to any of the other large language models.
Okay.
Yet you could look at Grok, and Grok went from like nothing earlier in the year to a giant spike, and it was on the board, and
Right.
it started like surpassing Claude in terms of
Yeah.
activity.
Mhm.
Yep.
Gemini to me is the biggest wild card. It's just my opinion because we've already seen that AI overview is now in at least 50% or more searches. We have
Okay.
seen
Yep.
that you made the comment before that it's not just about optimizing for search. You said it's optimizing for language models. I would add to that to say it's optimizing for answers. You have to think through like what is happening fundamentally. Fundamentally, buyers, sellers, consumers, us are getting trained to go get quick answers to our questions. And so they're
Yep.
not just saying best realtor near me, they're saying who's the best realtor near me. And
Yep.
so an AI can give you a lot more substance and context and nuance in terms of how it answers that. So it's optimizing for answers to those things. But just to answer it, yeah, ChatGPT's up there. If you look at the top platforms, top sites worldwide, ChatGPT jumped into, I think they're nearing top 5 right now. So it's a lot of activity, dude. It's
Well,
a
Tom, I'm trying to think here. Like, it's if Google's 23 times what ChatGPT is today in terms of
Yeah.
traffic,
Yep.
what was it a year ago or 2 years ago? Right. So like the rate of acceleration
Yeah.
is incredible at this
vertical.
stage.
You have to look at the numbers and say, 2 years ago, really, ChatGPT didn't exist, and now it's a $10 billion business.
Yeah.
So it's come out of nowhere. And my friends, like, if I don't know if we're going to get to it today, but watching the announcement of Grok 4 and listening to some people that I trust who are all saying the same thing, it is exponentially better than anything else available today, exponentially better. And the question is, one of the questions was like, hey, so if you were running this company, what would you do to leapfrog over ChatGPT, which just has more downloads, more exposure, if you will, today. So I don't know. It's gonna be an interesting race. But I want to transition because now, my friend, you listening, watching, however you're absorbing this content, now you better get on the GEO train. And we really haven't answered the question of what's next. But for sake of time, I'll come back to it. For sake of time, I want to switch gears to Jimmy and say, all right, Jimmy, my brain is hurting. I'm already getting kind of a little, I don't know, uh, you know, just losing it on this AI conversation. Give me
Sure.
something easy to do, man. You got some 3-step way for me to double the number of referrals? I can do that one today, buddy. So, what is this 3-step process? Unpack it for us and let's help our friend get more referrals.
Let me set the stage here, Tom. I went to a Greek restaurant in DC many years back, and it was like an 18-course Greek restaurant. And I remember that between the courses, like between the octopus and the feta and cucumbers, they'd give you like these little, like, I don't even know what they were, like little samplers to like cleanse your palate.
Mhm.
This is what this session is going to be. It's going to, like, let's slow things out. Let's cleanse your palate a little bit.
Are
Let's
you
make
calling
this
the
real.
octopus?
That's a compliment, Jason. People
Okay.
people go to the restaurant for the octopus. Um, I'm the palate cleanser. That's my goal. So, I conducted a poll recently, in our listing leads mastermind group, and I asked everybody, I'm like, how many referrals are you currently getting right now every week? And let now, mind you, these agents are top producing agents. They're in that top 10%. They're highly motivated, highly ambitious. On average, because we got like 70, 80 responses, on average, it was 0 to 1. Which is probably, if we're being honest with ourselves,
Mhm.
probably a lot closer to 0.
Yeah.
So what I did is I went and I looked at the top 10 agents in that thread. I looked at their Google profiles. I looked at their Zillow profiles. Every one of them had over 100 reviews, 100 5-star reviews. And I think one of the realizations that I had, I think everyone in this pod's going to have, is that having lots of reviews does not translate into a steady stream of referrals.
Mhm.
I mean, it's nice. It creates a foundation, but if you really want to have 2, 3, 4 referrals per week, you have to have a proactive strategy. And so thinking about this, I asked myself a very simple question, which is if I was an agent right now who was trying to build up that lead pillar, because you guys know this already. Tom, you know this. Jason, you know this. There are only really 2 ways as an agent to grow your business. Number 1, you optimize an existing lead pillar, or number 2, you add a new one. I mean,
Yeah.
that's pretty, as an individual
That's it.
agent, teams like that, that's pretty much it.
Mhm.
And so I love to get your reaction to this, guys. And I want each of you to think about maybe if you would improve upon this or add to this, and let me know where your heads go with it. But the very first thing I would do is and this is basic 101, is I'd go into my CRM and I would create a smart list. Step 1, smart list. And I would sort my VIP clients, my top 100 clients or my top 50 contacts, whatever it is, by the people who I haven't contacted recently. So you have a list of your contacts and you sort it by least recently contacted. So let's say it's Tom Ferry and it's been 6 months. It's Jason Pantana. It's been 4.5 months, all the way down. So I'm looking at the people who I've been basically neglecting the most. Step 2 is I've got to have some ammunition. I've got to have something I can get in front of these people that's going to get them to connect me with one of their friends, one of their coworkers, their spouse, whatever it is. And so I would make it my mission to find the best home in that area that I think is going to sell the fastest. Step 1, I get the list. Step 2, I have a process, an SOP. Jason will give you a prompt to basically do this. But for now, just a process around identifying, maybe it's an off-market listing. Maybe it's a pocket listing. Maybe it's a listing that you in your team meeting, you knew it's going to hit the market in 3 days and you want to give your clients a kind of early head start. Maybe it's a home that's gone viral on Zillow that has the most views and saves. Or Tom, maybe it's a hot home on Redfin. But I'm having a SOP around, let me find the best home. And then I'm sending a simple text message out to 5 to 10 people. And this is exactly what the text is going to say. Hey, Tom, I know you're not looking to move, but you're one of those people who always seems to know someone who is. Now, let's just freeze for a second.
Yeah.
In psychology, this is called priming,
Yep.
right? It's also a little bit of, as our friend Chris Voss would say, labeling. Right.
Mhm.
I'm now projecting on to Tom. Now Tom's thinking to himself, yeah, I am one of
Of
those.
course I am.
Of
Yes.
course I am, right?
Yes.
Then I'm transitioning to say, I got a new listing. This is the reason why I'm reaching out. I got a new listing about to hit the market. It's gonna move fast. Do you think it might be worth quietly sharing this with someone in your network? And the reason I'm using that word
Quietly.
quietly,
Quietly is
right?
key. That's so
It's
smart.
it's just this kind of pattern interrupt in the mind of the agent, right? Where they sort of like, I mean, the mind of the consumer, excuse me, where like it's a word that shouldn't be there that just sort of like kind of jumps out that immediately elicits an emotion like I'm giving you something that really, no one else has. And I've always said this, and Tom, you know this, but like I like to market like I gossip,
Mhm.
which is like, "Hey, listen, I shouldn't be telling you this. I'm not sure if you heard this, right?" Like, I use phrases like that to kinda like so someone leans in a little bit.
Yep.
So to recap the steps here, very simple strategy. If I'm in a position right now where I look at the number of appointments I have, or the number of deals I have, and the vast majority of them are not coming from referrals, and I wanna stand this pillar up. Number 1, build your what I would call your neglect list. Your clients organized by the ones you haven't contacted recently. Number 2, create an SOP around finding the best deals in your area. And number 3, use the script I just gave you as a way to get Tom to refer me to Jason and Jason to refer me to his friend, right? Like that machine is one of the easiest and best ways for you to put yourself in a position to generate a steady stream of referrals. Let me stop there, guys. A, I want your reaction. B, what comes to mind for you?
Tom.
So first, can you read the script one more time? The text script? I just want to hear it one more time.
Yeah, I got 2 versions of this, but let me give you the first
Yeah.
version. Hey, Tom, I know you're not looking to move, but you're one of those people who always seem to know someone who is.
Yeah.
I got a new listing about to hit the market. It's going to move fast. Do you think it might be worth quietly sharing this with someone in your network?
I love it. I love it. And what was the second variation?
The second is, hey, Jason, you're not in the market, but I'd figured you'd appreciate a quick heads up.
Mhm.
So again, what we're doing with that script is we're basically trying to trigger that like law of reciprocity. This is Robert Cialdini, great book,
Yep.
Influence. I got a
Yep.
new listing coming soon. It's going to move quickly. Before I take it public, want me to send you the details in case someone in your world wants to get the inside information.
I'm curious actually for the person listening right now, whether you're on YouTube or Spotify or wherever you find yourself, what's your take? Put it in the comments. What's your take on that text? Would you send that text? What response do you think you would generate from it? Otherwise, you know what I'm going to tell you right now? What I love about this very quickly is I've been texted, I don't know, 6 or 7 times in the last 3 days. It's funny, like I go away for a quick vacation and that's when everybody texts me like, okay, I've got a ton of listings, but I'm not generating enough buyers. What do you recommend? And my response would be that text,
Mm-hmm.
that text,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like that text. And I don't think I would stop at 4 to 5 a day. I think that many of us, many people that I talk to, it's so bifurcated. We can go to the numbers if we have time today on listing sold data year to date by agent tranches. It is so bifurcated today. I'm talking to so many agents that they've listened, they've listed a ton of houses. They're being frustrated by the fact days on market now could be one of my clients. They've gone from 4 days to 2.5 weeks, where others, and she was complaining, where others are saying, oh my God, I've got homes that are sitting for 120, 180 days,
Mm-hmm.
right? So there is definitely a need today to be more proactive to generate buyers for your listings if you're in that market. And I see that script as an excellent way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I love
Jason, thoughts?
Yeah, I think every sentence was just packed with intelligent marketing and psychology. You mentioned Cialdini and Influence, the psychology of persuasion. You also appealed to their consistency law, where you basically gave somebody an aspirational. You're the kind of person who knows people who are looking to sell.
Mm-hmm.
It was almost like you gave them a badge of honor that they wanted to live up to and be
Mm-hmm.
consistent with. I thought the language was brilliant. What really struck me though is what you said earlier, based upon the listing leads research, that
Mhm,
reviews don't trigger referrals. And
mhm.
it's funny because that is so in keeping with 1,000 watt data. Thousand
Right.
watt data researches where do sellers find their listing agents, and it's really the tale of two paths. It's a fork in the road.
Yeah.
Is either relationships or research,
Mhm.
and research is powered by reviews. And so, like we've been talking about GEO getting found online, reviews help fuel
Sure.
that. And so it's really like I love the sort of yin and yang of the relationship, the research. We've covered both. They work together.
Well, right before we get into Jason's second point here, Tom, one last thing, which is I want everyone to stop being so patient.
Bingo.
When it comes to referrals, I want you to be really impatient. And I mean, like, get out there, have a proactive strategy. Take what you love about what we're giving you today, make it your own, tweak it. Let us know in the comments of the video what you think and how you might use it. But like, stop waiting for your customers' better angels to show up.
Mhm.
Because the reality is many of them right now are more than happy to connect you with somebody, but you've got to be the catalyst behind that.
Right.
Mhm. Mhm.
What's interesting too, just on that note, and then we'll switch gears, is I'm gonna make a statement and I want to know from the two of you how you feel about it. Uh, I I think broadly consumers today will work with just about anyone to show them houses and represent them in buying. But they're becoming they're doing more due diligence when selecting a listing agent. And I can look no further to a friend of mine who over the weekend got an offer accepted in a home at a high-end resort community. He was calling me like, "What do you think about this area?" And we're chit-chatting and we're friends. And I'm like, "Oh, that's awesome." I'm like, "Well, are you also going to sell your place in city X?" And he's like, "Yes, I would like 7 Tom Ferry agents that I can interview." I'm like,
Mhm.
"So you went on a portal, picked an agent, wrote an
Yep.
offer on a on an 8-figure house
Mm-hmm.
without ever seeing the property,
Mm,
with just the person that answered the phone." You with me on this?
Mm-hmm.
I'm with you.
But wants to interview 7 Tom Ferry agents in his town to select the right agent to sell his house. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that just happened Thursday of last week. You tell me, like, am I off basis here?
No, no. And it's funny. I think this data point supports what you're saying. So if you look at National Association of Realtors data, every year they publish various stats. And one of the stats they always publish is how many agents does the seller talk to before making a hire?
Mhm.
And last year's data put it in the 80 percentile. It was over 80%. Only
Yes.
talked to one agent. That number has backslidden. And so fewer consumers are only talking to one agent. And what that suggests to me is they're becoming much more scrutinizing of who they choose to hire, and they're looking to work with the best. When I think about the clients we work with in the coaching program, we are living in a market. This has been my experience as a coach, where you're either getting richer or poorer in this business. Because if you are like, I'm thinking of like a Ken Pozek, if you're just a rock star in your local marketplace, you are just the beacon, the haven that everybody is coming to help them make the best possible decision, list and sell their house for the best possible terms. But if you lack the track record, my goodness, it's going to be more
Mhm.
difficult to be able to prove your worthiness for hire. So I definitely think it's happening. And you can even see it in the trends of search. More and more people are searching and looking for, show me the proof that this person has what it takes to get the job done. It's happening
Yeah.
through Tom Ferry referrals. It's happening in GEO. It's happening everywhere.
Right.
You know, the reason behind this, Tom, is just
Mhm.
the basic principle of perceived value. And I'm reminded of one of my favorite Rory Sutherland quotes,
Mhm.
where he said, "A flower is a weed with an advertising budget."
I love that guy.
Yeah. That's
The
good.
thing is,
Yeah.
we operate off of perceived value, and the reality is brand buyer's agent. I mean, it has been suffering for many, many years.
Right.
Mhm.
Whereas so, like, they're seen as, in many cases where we all know it's not true, but they're seen as this sort of replaceable cog in the machine.
Sure.
And whereas a seller's agent, still has I think, has a higher brand quality or brand equity in the mind of the consumer. So the reason why someone might want to interview multiple ones, because they know how important it is to choose the right one.
Yes.
And that's the same reason why we go to Yelp to sort by the restaurant with the most and best reviews. It's sort of the same reason why we're going to interview 5 or 6 or 7 sellers agents. I mean, they just have a better perceived value in the mind of the consumer. As a buyer's agent, if I'm listening to this right now and I work with a lot of buyers and I'm sick of that, I mean, that's something that you can now kind of take back to the lab and say, how can I raise my value in the mind of the consumer so I don't get replaced by a button on a website.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
had a I just had a thought too, and maybe this is relevant. When you think about a buyer's agent, if you put yourself in the shoes of a consumer,
Yeah.
um, you already see all the houses that are available. You have the belief that I can see everything online, I know what's out
Yeah.
there, and I can see it. When you are a seller, you cannot see the buyers. They're invisible. And so the need to have somebody help you find what you can't see becomes far, far greater. And so I think it's easy for us to look at it and say, how do they not realize at the end of the day, the broker is helping them facilitate the best possible terms on the asset they're buying? But that's not
Mhm.
maybe how they're seeing it. They're seeing about
Yes.
what I can see, which is I see that house and it's a $10 million house,
Yeah.
but I don't see the buyer for it. Just a
Yes.
thought.
Mhm.
Yeah, and again, for my friend that's listening, if you're like, "Oh, I'm a buyer's agent, what are you knocking me?" No, I'm just acknowledging sort of the first principles that I'm aware of. Like, it's just the game is changing. And all it means to me is I'm a buyer's agent today, or I'm on a team and I've got 25 or 30 or 200 buyer's agents. I'm going to look back
Yeah.
to GEO, my buyer,
Right.
right? My profile. How am I going to position my profile? How am I going to position my blogging to make sure that I'm showing up as the one in the marketplace to represent you? So again, let's switch gears. We got two more topics. Uh, I would say quickly, but that might make him talk faster, Jimmy. Uh, Jason, AI, stop paying for stuff that AI can do better. Unpack that for us.
Yeah. So if you go back to a world before AI, as a real estate agent, I couldn't think of a career that is a better embodiment of what it means. You have to wear multiple hats.
Mhm.
You're out in the field, you're showing properties, you're writing contracts, you're busy, but you have to stop. You have to keep marketing. If you stop marketing, you're going to lose altitude. You're going to lose momentum in your business. So it's just this balancing act to be a real estate professional. And so over the years, lots of little services, little just does this little trick, does this little thing, this little tool for you, start to accrue almost like, and this has been something I've been thinking about a lot. It's like we used to have Netflix, and then we added Hulu, and then we added YouTube TV, and now it's Paramount,
Mhm.
and now it's all these, and it just starts to stack up.
Yeah.
And when was the last time you really looked across all the stuff you're spending money on and asked the question, is this still necessary in a world with AI, or could AI do it better for me and more cheaply? And so I've been on a tear inside of AI Marketing Academy. I'm calling it the Summer of Savings. And so what we've been and will continue giving our members is custom GPTs in ChatGPT that can do specific marketing tasks for them. We're going to give them Claude artifacts that do specific marketing tasks for them because they're already paying for ChatGPT. They're paying 20 bucks a month and they have an endless number of custom GPTs. Now, if somebody's watching or listening and they're like, what on earth is a custom GPT? If you ever have saved a prompt, let's say you have a prompt for writing listing descriptions and you're like, ooh, that worked really well. And so I'm going to put that in my Apple Notes so that the next time I have a listing, I can use it again. That's a pretty good tell that you should have made a custom GPT. A custom GPT is a recurring task. It's a repeated conversation you do again and again and again inside of ChatGPT, where it allows you to effectively hard code those instructions as rules for how this GPT engages with you. And so, for example, the GPT we just released inside of the Academy, we actually build the GPTs and then give them to the members. We just released this one here called the Done With You Blog Writer GPT is one of them, for example. And we're just harping this done with you. I'm kind of tired of done for you marketing. I look at what Listing Leads is doing and I'm like, that's done with you. It takes the best messaging and it gives it to you. It's done with you. I look at what the Academy is doing. It's helping you do marketing. Because when you think about what is done for you marketing is somebody has a box and they want to put you in it. Done with you marketing is the ability to personalize it for your brand, your market, your ambition, your goals.
Yes.
And so how can you have AI fit that? So I won't go into, you tell me how deep to go, guys, because I could talk and talk. Three that come to mind are the Done With You Blog Writer GPT. And the way we coded the instructions on the back end of this is it's optimized to write 5 different kinds of blogs. It could be a market update blog, and it's like, hey, can you give me some MLS data? And then it writes a market update for you. It could be, I've got a new listing. Tell me about your listing. It writes the listing for you for a blog. It could be repurposing a social media post. You can just give it an Instagram link and say, write a blog for this, and it can do that. It could be a tip or piece of advice for buyers or sellers, or some kind of a local happening that you want to highlight on your blog. So it's designed to help you build real estate local authority, and you can use it as many times as you want. And it will walk you through, are there any keywords you want us to integrate? Hey, what's the goal? Who are you trying to move? What kind of a call to action do you want? Where do you want it? Do you want it natively or do you want it at the end or both? And so it goes through a five questions of intake, and then poof, it writes a blog. But it even asks you, where are you going to post the blog? Is it WordPress? Is it Squarespace? Is it SEO Interactive? And then it outputs the format that allows you to just copy and paste it, where all the headings, all the bold text, the italics, bulleted list automatically format to your blog. So it's literally just copy, paste, post, copy, paste, post. And it just is a flywheel of blogging. And I'm like, how many people are paying a freelancer thousands of dollars a month to help them write SEO rich blogs? When I'm like, man, you could totally do that with AI.
It reminds me, remember Toby from Shopify had that tweet
Yes.
where he's like, so the backstory real quickly is he wrote a memo to his entire company that got leaked. So he decided to basically post it publicly, as you'd expect. And he said, before you can hire anybody at Shopify, you have to prove to me that AI can't do it better. And I think what you just broke down there, Jason, is like the mindset I think people need to have as they explore GPTs and other solutions is like, before you hire somebody to do something that maybe in the past they would do, you prove to me that AI can't do that thing better. And I think in many cases, the answer is always going to be like, AI is getting pretty good now at this stage.
And really, like, I mean, this one here, I'm not going to go through, but it's a stubborn seller angle generator. So it's like, my listing needs a price drop. It says to you, grab the MLS data that's relevant to your area. It drops it in and tell me about your seller. And it finds an angle that you could use as a talking point in having a price reduction conversation.
So for my friend that's listening, what is he saying? Inside of ChatGPT, or is there any other platform that's currently making it available?
Gemini does gems. So you could do a gem on Gemini.
Okay, we need to tweet Elon and tell him he needs to get this site Grok, because I'm just obsessed with Grok. But what is he saying? He's saying that basically anything you repeat over and over again, you create a separate GPT. You're going to go into your settings. You can ask ChatGPT, how do I do this? And it's going to say, go here, check this. But the point is, if I'm going to continually work on marketing, I'm going to have a separate marketing thing. If I'm going to have a podcast, I'm going to have a separate one for podcasts, listing descriptions, asking for price reductions, newsletters, right? Writing video scripts. I'm not going to randomly go to it every single time and start over. Instead, I'm going to make one GPT, one private GPT that is only for you. I'm going to keep making that thing more and more intelligent, understanding me, the tempo of my market, what's important to me. Am I getting that correctly? And this is all FRE free.
Now this is the caveat.
Mhm.
You have to have the imagination to write the instructions that tell it how to behave.
Yes.
You have to be able to create the prompt that tells this GPT what it does. So we have a list of about 20 GPTs we're building right now inside of the academy. Anything from writing voiceover scripts for, imagine you have a listing video and it's a property tour. It can ask you how long's your video, what rooms is it, and it can sequence out what the voiceover script should be for the video, so it times
Yep.
up perfectly, like anything.
Yes.
Make it.
Yes. You know what's going to happen? There's going to become a drinking game, Jimmy, called "How many times does Jason say Academy on this show?" Drink. So,
Okay.
so I love just the insight. By the way, I was interviewing Gary Vaynerchuk last week, and so as I'm interviewing him, he'd be like, "Oh, watch this, hold on," and he would just ramble for like 2 minutes into ChatGPT, and then go, "I think the answer is this. What do you think?" Like that's basically how we did the interview. It was hysterical. We were both having we're memory lane. When was the first time we met? And it like talked about the first time. Then we chit chatted about that. Then he's like, I'm like, well, how would you handle this? So like, what are you thinking about with this? And all he did was just ask ChatGPT, and it was never a prompt, Jimmy, the way Jason would do a prompt. It was total stream of consciousness, right?
Yeah.
Total. And what I really want the listener to get is, if you're not doing that, you should start. The more you can just go total, like today I was messing around with, hey, so I'm looking to get some data around the last 5 decades of the US housing market, specifically what caused the run up, when did it peak, why did it peak, why did it drop, how long was it in the trough, right? On average over the 5 decades, and what was the signal that pulled it out of it again? But I want you to go each, and this is how I was prompting it. I was just like, this is what I'm looking for, and I want this, and I want that, and I want this, and then put it into like just 5 things that I could do, but make sure the number one reason is the number one thing. And guess what the number one answer was? Interest rates. That's all it was. The whole thing was, the whole 5 decades of real estate boom or bust was interest rates. That was it.
What you're saying though, the stream of consciousness prompting, yes, the prompts I show are often very modular and very structured. Yes, I got them there. I always start with stream of consciousness prompting.
Yes.
I have a dialogue about what I want, and then I use ChatGPT to help, sort of like a sculptor, whittle it down into the structured prompt that I can use again and again and again and again. Anybody can.
Of course. Yeah, I love it. So I think everyone should just make a note, like, stop paying for stuff that AI can do better. And if you could just use your imagination. We always talk about, like, curiosity is the solution for all things AI. If you can just ask a better question and go deeper, you're going to find that it can do so much more for you. It's fascinating. All right, Jimmy, let's wrap it up with, I want to have more seller dialogues, and I'm looking for a more elegant way to do it. What? Do you have some scripts? Do you have some insights? Talk to us.
Yeah, so I've written hundreds of sales scripts in the last 12 months, and because I do it so often, I'm always looking for creative ways to say the same thing. And so this past week, I came across a great video. Shout out to Lewis Howes. You guys know Lewis Howes.
Of course,
I mean,
yes.
just an incredible entrepreneur, great podcaster. So he had this video, which, by the way, fantastic hook. He says, 3 words that have changed my life. And so I obviously watched the video, and the 3 words that he used were, "What's the chance?"
Oh, yeah.
And so he in the context of the video, he was talking about, like, how you can use this, like, if you're traveling, hey, what's the chance I can get a free upgrade? What's the chance I can get this add-on? What's the chance, like, in a very playful, wistful way, just as an exploratory way to sort of like have a conversation, maybe try to go a little bit further with something. So so when I saw that video, my mind immediately says, okay, cool. Great framing, great language. Like in marketing, we're trained to use neuroscience to try to get the behavior or the outcome we're trying to try to get. And in neuroscience, they always talk about your amygdala, which is like the thing that detects a threat. And in sales, we use threatening language without even realizing we're using threatening language. Let me give you an example of this. If you and I walked into a Best Buy today, and some like, broccoli hairhead teenager comes over to us and he's like, hey, can I help you? Our immediate response is what?
Just
My,
broccoli.
my immediate response is, what is a broccoli hairhead?
Oh, you're gonna know what that is, Tom. Your sons are probably
We've
have
seen
that
this many
book.
times.
Yes. So this it's like the Tom, just to bring it back, it's the perm, right? From
I
the
gotcha.
80s.
Yeah.
Hang on. Hang
So,
on.
Jason will pull up the screenshot of it. Thank you, Jason.
Well, I was with my barber. We were talking about this, and we made some ChatGPT images.
Oh, oh, Jason, no, I
Of
don't wanna
course you
insult
did.
you.
Of course you did.
If Jason rocks the broccoli hair at Summit, that would be pretty epic. So
So
if
what's the
you
chance? What's the chance that Jason shows up with broccoli hairhead? Is
Jason,
that?
what's the chance? Right? What's the chance? But if you
Very,
go
it's
if
very low. I'm sorry. It's
But in the context is, hey, so I walk in, I'm looking to buy something. Yeah, there it is. And literally they say, hey, can I help you? We all say the same
help
thing.
you,
No, I'm just looking.
I'm just looking. Do you want to? Can I help you? Will you? These are questions that trigger the part of the brain that basically saying like we are experiencing a threat. We don't want to commit
Mhm.
to such a big decision. And
Right.
you've heard me say this before. If you've seen me speak or you've listened to this pod, like I always say, when it comes to your calls to action, make the first step a small step. And
Yes.
so the way I would think about this, if I was catching up with a past client, we're having a great conversation, just catching up with the family, I might say, "Hey, this might feel like out of the blue, but what's the chances you'd consider selling if the right offer
Mm.
came along?"
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, if I'm talking to a seller who, let's say, is like, they've been thinking about moving. We all know these people, but they haven't found the right home to move into yet. So that's like and I mean, I guarantee you people who are listening to this pod to have like a dozen of those people. I might say something like, let's just say we've mapped out an entire game plan. Do you have a number in mind that, might make it worth you making a move? And so what you're doing there is like, again, it's kind of you're playing on this what's the chance by just sort of like, hey, let's just say hypothetically, because that's all we're doing here is asking very simple, very easy to answer hypothetical questions. Let's just say we figured this other thing out.
Mhm.
Do you have a number in mind that actually might make it worth it? Or another one I like to use, Tom, along the same lens, my last one for you today. Again, if I'm talking to a client or a prospect, in this case, a client, I want to maybe just help lower the temperature in the room. I don't want them to, again, I don't want them getting that fight or flight mode. I might say, hey, Tom, I'm asking all of my clients this. So now it's not like there's no pressure. I'm just asking everyone this. If the right offer came along, is there a number that would make you seriously consider it? And so when you stack those, right? This might feel like out of the blue, but what's the chances you'd consider selling if the right offer came along? Or let's say we mapped out an entire game plan. Do you have a number in mind that might make it worth it? Or, hey, I'm asking all my clients this if the right offer came along. Is there a number that would make you seriously consider it? All I'm asking them in every one of these scenarios is, Tom, do you want to sell your damn house? Right? That's all I'm doing. But the way in which we present that, the way we use empathy, the way we use curiosity, the way we have a little bit of playfulness, like Lewis Howe is suggesting, that makes all the difference in the world. And I'll tell you guys one thing: the best scripts don't feel like scripts.
Exactly. Especially the, hey, Jason, I'm asking every client I know this question.
I love
What real estate market do you think we're in? Booming, declining, or recovery?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't matter what direction they go.
So
I'm
what I
asking
love,
it. Yeah, good.
I was going to say, whichever form of the question you ask, in both situations, it creates a zero pressure, no fear. It allows somebody, because if you just say, hey, do you want to sell your house today? Fear sets in. What if it goes wrong? But asking it, what are the chances? Or I'm asking everybody this. It just creates
Mm-hmm.
this. There's no stakes in answering this
Mm-hmm.
question. You can answer it without being influenced by fear. I love the script.
Mhm.
I love
Yeah.
it.
So give me the openings again. What's the chance?
Yeah. So
Let's just
the first,
say, yep.
yeah, the openings are what's the chance? Let's just say we mapped out insert objection. Let's just say we mapped out a plan to make sure you can keep your monthly payment exactly where it is. Let's say we mapped out a plan to find the right home before you put the home in the market. Like our friend Eli Wow would always say to us, Tom, destroy the objection in the mind of the consumer. And the third opening is, hey, I'm asking all my clients this. So what's the chance?
Mhm.
Um, let me pull it up here. What's the chance I'm asking all my clients this, and let's just say we mapped out blank insert objection.
I really love that too. That's a really nice piece. It's really good.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
I love it too. I love it too. All right. So, fellas, we've covered a lot of ground. This is episode number 2, I guess, technically. So for my friend that's listening right now, give us some feedback. Like we're just tiptoeing into this, even though we've probably done, I don't know, 50 different shows and God knows how many seminars and events together. But we really want to make this show right for you. Like the commitment is to really keep all of us in that growth mindset, to unpack the ways that we can create exponential growth. And whether it's GEO and SEO or the right scripts and dialogues or the right marketing tactics or hiring the right people, whatever it may be, what we know is in every single marketplace, somebody is scaling, somebody is growing, and somebody is going backwards. And what we are committed to is helping you be on the side of growth. So let us know your comments. Fellas, thank you guys so much for being on the show. And shall we do a little overtime?
Let's do a little.
If we do, we're going to have to edit all that, man. So no edits, Brandon, whatever. Like I was just reminded, overtime. So what do we got in overtime?
Data. You've got the data that you've got to share in overtime. If you can share.
Man, I am not sharing that data yet. I'm going to wait. I'm going to tease my friend. You're going to have to listen to the next show, and you're definitely going to want to be on YouTube because I'm going to show you the listing sold data in the first 6 months of 2025 in comparison to 2024, but I'm not ready to reveal it yet.
That's it for overtime, guys. That's a quick overtime.
All right. All right. Thank you guys so much, and we'll look forward to seeing you on the next show.